Dear leaders, the Leaders Lounge, brought to you by the World Class Training Institute, is here for you. Leaders need support too, and this is where you'll find it. This podcast will give you the tools, tips, and strategies to help you lead your teams to success. Also, here you will find a soft place to land when your leadership journey feels overwhelming. We will help you to know that you are not alone in handling some of the challenges that you face. Finally, be sure to access worldclasstraining.net. That's worldclasstraining.net to view all of our leadership programs, and make sure that you access our newest book, Unpacking Agape, the 7 Languages of Intentional Leadership, at worldclasstraining.net/agape. Now, here's the show. Welcome to the Leaders Lounge, brought to you by the World Class Training Institute. Before we get into today's exciting program, please go to worldclasstraining.net. That's worldclasstraining.net and register for our upcoming Speak Easy Summit. Here, you will have an amazing 2.5 days of workshop interactive programming that will help you if you are a public speaker or someone who's even in sales or leadership and needs to hone your public speaking skills to get everything you need to develop a framework to build a story that engages yet moves the dial forward in your communication. It helps you to strengthen your speaker posture and movement, and it helps you to build the confidence that you need when you step in front of your next audience. So go today to worldclasstraining.net. That's worldclasstraining.net to register for the Speak Easy Summit. Get ready to unlock your voice, find your confidence, and speak easy. Now, here's today's show. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Leaders Lounge. I am your host and curator, of course, Dawn Morris. Welcome back. I am so happy you are here. This is episode XX number 20 for our first season of the Leaders Lounge, which is incredible. It's just another testament to how when you just take the first step, whoever your higher power is, for me, it's God, is going to help you take the next one and the next one and the next one. I had been asked to do a podcast for quite some time, and I had resisted doing it. I'm so happy I decided to go ahead and take the plunge. And now, just like that, I'm at episode number 20. So I say to you, before we ever get into today's topic, that if there is something that you have been thinking about doing, or something that someone is encouraging you to do because they see the potential in you, you owe it to yourself to explore it. It may be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So we are at episode number 20. Happy anniversary to the Leaders Lounge for our 20th episode. Woo-hoo! Clap, clap, clap it up for that. Yes. And today we are continuing our conversation on communication. We have, of course, our upcoming training called the Speak Easy Summit that is happening September the 19th and 20th at Collective 615 in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. each day. In a moment, or before we wrap up, I'm going to share a little bit about the agenda so that you all have that information. And I encourage anyone who is thinking about speaking to enroll in this class. And when I say speaking, or I shouldn't say even thinking about speaking, because I'm not necessarily talking about speaking as a career. I'm talking about speaking publicly at work. If you have to give presentations, if you have to even convince a team that who you lead as a manager of some upcoming changes that are happening, or if you want to wrap their minds around your vision, you have to be able to communicate effectively your vision, your mission, the steps that have to be taken in order to achieve that. And you have to be motivational, inspirational, and informational. And so learning how to speak publicly is critical in this world of social media where we can type what our thoughts are. We can even grab an emoji to express laughter, even though we might not even be feeling laughter inside. But we know, hey, I should show that this is supposed to be funny, or we put an exclamation point on something to say, hey. And when we're feeling, hey. So our words typed can be expressive, and then we may meet someone and they're the antithesis of that because they have not learned the power of communication, or maybe they may know the power, but they may not know how to enact that power within themselves. And so the Speakeasy Summit is September the 19th and 20th, again right here in Nashville, Tennessee. We're breaking this down into the warm up, the workout, and the cool down. And I'm going to share with you the agenda items momentarily, but I want to jump right into today's content because it's so important. Today, my title is Don't Miss Your Money Shot. Speak easy. Don't miss your money shot. Speak easy. Ladies and gentlemen, when thinking about the importance of speaking publicly, there are direct advantages to your career and to your bottom line that happen from being able to communicate effectively to a broad audience. And there are indirect monetization benefits that happen as a result of you being able to communicate effectively to a broad audience. When you come to the Speakeasy Summit, we are going to spend some good time talking about where the areas of monetization are and provide you with some tips and some tools and strategies for how to position yourself to be in the right place and communicate in the right way to benefit directly and indirectly from your speaking acumen. For today, let's talk about what it means to not miss your money shot. I've been in a number of sessions where whoever the primary speaker is may ask the audience a question and there's a dead silence. People do not want to share information, or they may be shy about sharing information. In instances like that, and I have heard the strategy, speak last, let other people share, don't say anything. That's all well and good, and there is a time and place for that. I agree. But when you have an opportunity to impact the audience through your words, you want to not miss your money shot. Don't miss the moment because of your fear of being able to speak to a broad audience. And that is what happens more so than the strategy of waiting to hear what other people say, and the strategy of, I'm going to let them share and then I'm going to give the winning anecdote, or the winning quote, or the winning phrases to wrap up this conversation and leave the mark that sometimes people want to leave. It is fear over most things that creates that dead silence in large arenas or bigger arenas when people are asked their opinion or asked to share and they don't. You don't want this to make you look like you're not ready to lead. When you are building your career, you want to be confident in settings that are designed for you to share so that you can build the career and build the life that you want to. Don't miss your money shot. How do you overcome fear? The best way to overcome fear of publicly speaking is to speak publicly. The best way to get ready to speak publicly is to practice. And when you practice, you want to get real feedback. In the Speakeasy Summit, you are going to get real feedback on your posture, your mannerisms, your intonation or lack thereof, your distractors or lack thereof when you are talking. And of course, the ability that you have demonstrated to stay on track in your communication, because that's another area that I find too often when people are speaking, even in 60-second tidbits, folks get lost in what they're saying. And there's a reason for that. So we want to overcome fear so we do not miss our money shot. The second thing that I want to talk about in this not missing our money shot is the idea that when we are asked our opinion on how much money we want to make, or whether or not we want another job, or I'm going to go to relationships. What do you want out of this relationship? Now, these are not instances where you're talking to a large audience, but these are instances where the quality of your communication is going to determine whether or not you're believed and whether or not you actually get what you are seeking. Too often, when someone is asked, even in a relationship, tell me what you want, or tell me what you didn't like, people cannot communicate the answer to those simple questions. They either deflect, throw it back on the other person. Well, you always ask me that. Well, I don't know. Well, blah, blah, blah. But they never get down to saying, what I'd like from you is to open the door when I show up. I'd like for you to lean into conversations that I have with you so that I don't feel like I'm talking to a wall. Those types of things. When someone says, how much do you want to make? You want to be able to clearly communicate how much you want to make with confidence and be able to back that up with the skills that you have to support your ask. And the same thing is the case for promotion. So when we're talking about not missing your money shot, it's about being able to have those one-on-one conversations in a way that reaches understanding and helps to, as I often say, move the dial forward in what you ultimately want to achieve. So don't miss your money shot because you don't know the framework for how to build a conversation around simple asks. And the framework that we're going to talk about works not only for large audiences, but in the context of having simple conversations. And I usually like to give three whenever I'm communicating in these types of settings. So I'm going to leave you with a third one for how learning to speak easy helps you to not miss your money shot. The last way that learning how to speak easy does not helps you to not miss your money shot is that not being able to speak effectively creates a life where you fail to be all that the Creator has called you to be. Now, this sounds simple, but I'm going to go into it more deeply. I have had several conversations with people who I know and love, who have challenges and want certain things out of life, and they fail to get it simply because they don't have the either wherewithal, the ability, the desire, or as we talked about moments ago, the confidence to move themselves into a position where they are having simple conversations with the right people to get them to the right place. Simple conversations with the right people to get them to the right place. Again, it sounds easy, but it's complex. Now, what stops them from having the simple conversations with the right people to get them to the right place? They can't come up with the words that they want to use. They cannot come up with the words that they want to use. So, even if they see that person, they fail to move because they don't know the words that they want to use. Why is this? Back to number one, they have not practiced speaking out loud. And there is a difference between what is in our heads and what comes through our mouths. Whenever I'm training or getting ready to train a class, I practice it out loud. I don't care if I've done it before. I still practice it out loud. Why? Because what's in my mind as I'm reading sounds different once it's come out of my mouth. And so, mastering the art of communication helps you to not miss the money shot when you're put in a position to have a simple conversation with a person who can help you to move the dial forward. And it could be just having a lunch. It could be just having a quick conversation face to face when you see someone. Or it could be asking for the meeting. It could be making a phone call. But these things only become easy once we put into practice the art of communication. If we do not, we will miss the money shot. Don't let this happen to you all. Yes, I'm promoting this workshop, and I know this workshop is going to be amazing and it's going to leave whoever attends better on the other side of the 2 days than when they came in the door. Because this art of being able to speak helps you to walk into a room differently because you know that with whomever you come into contact, you are ready to have whatever conversation arises. So don't miss your money shot. And make sure that you register for the Speak Easy Summit happening September the 19th and 20th in Nashville, Tennessee at Collective 615. It's 3820 Charlotte Avenue. If you're out of town, just come on into town. You got some time in the morning if you want to fly in that morning, because we're not going to start until 1 o'clock, and then spend the next day. You'll be out at 4 the next day, and you can fly home or you can drive home if you live closely, but you don't want to miss this moment. Even if you think you're a pretty good speaker, come join this, because there are always opportunities that you want to take to hone your skills. And I often also have been saying to people who work at corporations, communication skills is a competency that is found on most evaluations. So if you want to develop that item on your competency and prove that for your performance reviews, come to the Speakeasy Summit. It is paid for. It can be paid for by your company, and it will help improve your performance review. So don't miss your money shot. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Leaders Lounge. Remember that the World Class Training Institute exists to help your organization maximize its greatest resource, which is human capital. And the way that we do that is through the delivery of our leadership and professional development training programs. To help your organization be its best, please access our worldclasstraining.net website and schedule time to have a conversation to see how we can help you maximize your greatest asset, which is human capital. And also, please feel free to pick up our book, which is Unpacking Agape, the 7 Languages of Intentional Leadership, at worldclasstraining.net/agape. That's worldclasstraining.net/agape. And we can also come to your organization for any speaking engagements related to leadership and professional development. So until next time, remember, when you're better, we're better. Take care.